that'll give you the uses, right? Same thing here. Take the gross, divided by how much you're going to charge per use, it'll give you 1,500 bucks. I mean 1,500 uses. Now that you know the uses, you're almost home free because you can set everything up to work from that and into it. Then they tell us the cost of the equipment is going to be $190,000, right? Working capital is going to be $6. Variable cost per use, they tell us for the washers is going to be 7.5 cents. Remember, we have uses up here for the washers at 1,200. We've already figured that out. Then we have dryers. It's going to cost per use 9 cents. And we're going to have 1,500 uses for dryers. Sounds totally like a variable cost scenario, right? Then we come down here and we have fixed cost, building rent, cleaning, and maintenance. So that tells us how much our fixed costs are going to be regardless of what we do, whether we wash one thing or not. Come down here and disposable value in 6 years is going to be 10%. So what's our disposable value going to be in 6 years? What's it going to cost us? It's going to cost us $190,000. That's going to be an outflow now. We're going to get back 10% of that 6 years from now, right? So it's going to be a lump sum inflow 6 years from now. We're saying we're not going to do this unless we make 12% on our money. So we have to determine, based on the net present value of 12%, net of inflows and outflows at 12%, is it worth doing or not? So, down here, our cash receipts would be what? We would just say 1,800 bucks a week is what they tell us we're going to have, and we're going to run it 52 weeks a year, right? Then we say we're going to make $1,125 a week on dryers, and it's going to be running 52 weeks a year. So total, we're going to have 152,100 bucks this per year. I like this question because it's only cash. You know what I mean? It's not going to confuse you on what expenses are, whether they're cash expenses or whether they're like depreciation, where it's a non-cash expense. All right, then we come down here to the slightly difficult stuff. And we say, okay, what's our cash disbursements going to be per use? For water and electricity, we just take the number of uses for the washers times the price per use times 52 weeks in the year. We do the same thing for dryers. 1,500 dryer uses times 9 cents a piece times 52 weeks in the year. And then the rent is going to be $3,500 a month. So we do 3,500 times 12 months, 42,000. Cleaning is going to be 1,500 a month, so times 12, so on. So altogether, we think our annual net cash disbursements will be $94,200. So net cash receipts, or total cash receipts minus cash disbursements, gives us $57,900 that we're going to make per year. Now the good news on that is I've given you what's going to go on your assignment. I still want to see you do all this stuff up here, but at least you know bottom line of where you need to get to. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see you not calculating getting to this just because Mr. Rose gave it to you in class. Then we come up here and we say, okay, This is the part that I say is optional, but I highly recommend you do it so that, because this is how we did it in class. This is how you're going to be doing it on the test, is by multiplying all kinds of these factors. But I want you to be able to do it on here because this is real life. Remember, we talked about this is what we do in class. This is how you'll actually do it when you go get a job. So let's break it down on the top here. We say that the investment's going to cost us $190,000. That'll be an outflow immediately, right? And the present value of $190,000 today is worth $190,000 outflow. Then we have a required working capital, right? What was that L number?
1663.
So that's what you would do there. So required working capital is money going out right now, so it's present value of that $6,000 because it's now. Salvage value is going to be 10% of the cost. Now salvage value means we're going to get this back 6 years from now, right? So 6 years from now, if we multiply that times the factor, where do we get that factor from? It's in your book, and you got the time value of money tables.
It's 6 years at 12%.
6 years at 12%, and which which present value table do you use?
The present value of $1.
Present value of $1, not the present value of an ordinary annuity or anything like that, right? Because the cash flow is a one-time thing. Then we come to our annual cash flows of $57.9, and it's going to be every year for 6 years. So then, after that, we look at the present value of an ordinary annuity, or periodic, however the book says it. And we take each cash flow times that factor. So every year, we're going to have net cash inflows of $57.9, multiply it times the factor of 4.11, and we get 238,027. Then that $6,000, we're not going to get that back until the end. So we multiply that times the same factor. And the net would be 54,702. That everybody good on that? Then we come down here and we set it up in a net present value way. 190,000 negative because it's going out now. 6,000 is also going out now. And so those total cash flows are 196,000 outflow. But in your case, it's going to be 190 and your L number, whatever that is, right? Then we come down here and we just pull these cash receipts, net cash receipts down here every year. Then in year 6, we get back that working capital. We get back our salvage value, and we get that year's net cash receipts. So these here are the cash flows. Now we have to discount those back at 12%. So what I want to do is, I want to go through an example of how to do that. We're going to go to formulas. See here where I have financial. So we're going to pick financial. And we're going to come down to NPV, net present value. Now the rate, we're going to put at 12%. Here's what I would prefer that you do. I can type in 0.12 and it'll work. But if the boss comes in and says, bank told us they're going to charge us more interest, make that 14%. Well, then you got to remember everywhere you need to go to update it. And Remember, we wanna work smart, not hard. So I'm gonna click this box here. I'm gonna come over here and click 12%, and we're gonna come down again. That way, anytime we change the discount rate, I can always just change it right here. Then here says, put the value from 1 to 54 payments spaced equally in time at the end of each period. What does it sound like they're asking for? Huh? Yeah, you're looking for the annuity of these payments here. Now watch, I'm gonna grab year 1 through year 6. I'm not grabbing year now. The reason is, Excel is thinking that this, whatever cash flows are grabbed, they're assuming to happen at the end of the year. But this happens now. So, I'm going to just grab years 1 through 6, and then I'm gonna hit OK. Now, I'm not done yet though. I'm off by 54,716. I mean, I'm off by 196,000. So I'm just come to the end and hit plus that. And that's how you do it. Make sense?
Plus the,
I'm gonna do plus this, whatever is in this one here, as a negative.